I was just asked, I just sat this down. This is my mom, part of her ashes. All of her ashes sit next to my desk in a felt case, that purple felt case next to me. But I carry this around, I travel this around with a picture of her. I wanted her to come in and listen to Herr Professor Salzberg, Herr Dr. Professor Salzberg, because she's heard Herr Professor Dr. Passau, where Hitler came from. But I just, you know, Mom, is he really as goofy as I think he is? And she'll tell me later. Okay, this is you. Okay. Now, I'm going to, we had our first role play. We'll tape some other role plays, but the first role play was good because basically Andres was kind to him, you know. And so we don't want to give the wrong impression to the people on YouTube that it's easy, these presentations. So we're going to film a couple of YouTubes over the next couple of days later where they're a little tougher. But I wanted to talk about commitment. And one of the stories I asked the guys to remind me of was about why, and I took notes during listening to the 93, 97 tape, and some of the stories I had forgotten. But in 1999, I was racing dune buggies in Cabo San Lucas with my two sons. And I was involved in an extremely serious accident and almost was killed. And I fractured my sternum, broke 9 ribs more or less, collapsed all my lungs, punctured my liver, punctured my kidney, punctured, not my aorta, but one of the main deals. I had my collarbone shattered and it was sticking through my shoulder up into my neck like this, spurting blood 3, 4, 5 feet out of me. Almost died. And I told my oldest son, don't let me, all the stories about third world country hospitals are true. I said, whatever you do, don't let me go unconscious down here. So every time I'd go to sleep, he'd slap me in the face and wake me up. My younger son is saying, are you fucking nuts? Dad is going to kill you when he finds out that you've been slapping him around. Anyway, so I lived. I rented a plane, leased a plane. Took me a day and a half to lease a plane, and I got back to the United States. And they patched me up best they could, but I almost died. Now, I had an appointment with Dr. Klaus Kleinfeld in Frankfurt, Maine. When with at that time, the managing partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers, I won't say his name because he's still around, but Herr Professor Doctor something. And they're sitting there in the lobby of the hotel, and as I come up, I'm coming up in a wheelchair. Vinica is pushing the wheelchair. And I'm like this, and I had one of these space blankets on me that are made out of aluminum. They look like aluminum, and I'm kind of slumped over like this. And to make it look not as bad, I had them take the drip that was in me, feeding me bodily fluids or whatever kind of fluids. And so she wheeled me in, and I see Klaus Kleinfeld, and I see this guy looking at me, and I could just see they turn white. And so I asked Vinica, I said, could you straighten out my head for me? So she lifts my head like that. It wasn't funny, believe me. And I said, hi guys, I'm sorry I'm a little late. And Klaus, he says, God, Dan, what happened to you? And so I briefly explained to him. He says, why are you here? Because when I fucking tell you I'm going to do something, I fucking do it. I'm either in a coma or fucking dead. And high performance people are just like me. When they say they're going to fuck you for practice, that's exactly what they do. They fuck you for practice. And when they tell you, I'm going to rip your fucking head up and shit down your neck, that's exactly what they do. And when I tell you I'm going to be in Salzburg, unless I'm dead or in a coma, I'll be there. And when I tell you I'm going to get something done, unless I'm dead or in a coma, not your mother's coma, not your mother's death, you're dead or in a coma, I get it fucking done. That's the difference. When Donald Trump says he's going to fuck you for practice, that's exactly what he means. And most of you, in fact all of you, don't mean that. And I've got a tape on YouTube from a webinar, whatever they call them, from a couple years ago where I didn't give that example, but I talked about commitment. And as I had thousands of people on the webinar to begin the conversation. The more I got into it, hundreds and hundreds just start falling off. By the time I entered it, I had 80 people left on the fucking webinar. Am I seeing that right? Webinar?
Yes.
Okay. 80 people. By the time I ended the last words, fuck you, you cunt, I had 25 people left. Most people can't stand too much fucking reality. That's the world I live in. You can't all be like me, but you got to have somebody on your dream team, your chairman or somebody that has been through that gauntlet. Otherwise, they're going to eat you alive. They're going to chop you up like strudel. Verstehen strudel? Yes, yeah, I know you do. And that's what I mean in commitment. That's why I'm such a great board member and I'm such a great partner. Because I do what I say. I always do what I say. No matter what, no matter how inconvenient it is, no matter how politically incorrect it is, I do what I say. And sometimes, if I have to, I'll use my own money to make the thing right. Even after you fucked it all up. Whereas you'll go with the tail between your legs trying to crawl out of the building. That's the difference between being a super high performance person and virtually almost everybody else. I got some more tweet fucks or whatever you call them about my talk about the bums that give personal development advice. Some people said I was rude. Some people said I was vulgar. Some people said I hurt their feelings. But you know what they said at the end? It's true. They tell us it's easy. They tell us it's nice. And we want to be liked and we want to be loved. Ciao, baby. That's it.